Well, this is what we have now that it's dry. So we're going to put a second wash on this particular tabletop. Get some clean water here. That'll help. Okay, there's a couple ways of doing it. If you want soft shadows, and we have soft shadows going here, then I would wet the entire portion that we're working on. If you're looking for more defined shadows or hard cast shadows that we have here, because this is casting a hard shadow, it's very close to the object like so, then I might not wet this entire board. I might just draw the paint down here. So with that in mind, let's make this one soft. The object that's casting the shadow is quite a ways away, so this one will be soft. So I'm going to go ahead and just dampen this portion of the painting. And I usually dampen a second wash with paint rather than water, but let's do a little bit of both. And I'm just trying to fill in some of these areas that I may have missed with paint the first time. So this one bleeds to kind of a lighter portion of the shadow right here, and because I wet that, it's softened, as you can see. And now we'll take our dark mix, which was a red brown with Van Dyke, and let's just put this in right here where it's a darker portion of the shadow here on the table. And I might also put a little bit of just Van Dyke brown along this edge. It's pretty dark where the light's coming in from this window as well. And it will just kind of bleed into this area that we've already done. So I know it looks a little dark, but I think as we pull it forward, it's going to be just fine. We want a little variety. It shouldn't all be the same. And I see I've got it here, but this will be a rather dark area too. We're going to define that with some brown. So I think now we have a pretty good value going here. I'm just going to pull it down here. This we'll get into later. So now we have, and I guess this comes over here just a little bit. Let me just pull that down. Okay. I know I told you I'd fix this. That may have been optimistic. No, I really will do that. I'm going to use a little bit of the burnt sienna again. I'm just going to re-wet this particular portion, or this plank, if you will. I just want it a little bit darker right there, but I don't want to disturb it.
14th Street East.
Whoops. I guess my other phone is thinking I'm going someplace. I'm not, but it thinks I am. Hang on, let me just turn that off. I don't know how that happened. Okay, back to painting. I'm just going to put a little bit more of the burnt sienna here, and a little bit of our mix right here on the edge, as this is a little bit darker. Just again, just for some variety. And I might as well go ahead and paint out the end of this board right here while we're here. And you can see the scratching, the areas here that have been incised or scratched are coming to life again. And if you want to put the knot hole in, certainly you can, but you don't have to. I'm going to soften this edge just a little bit. So that's a little bit better. Okay. And I know we brought, we brought a couple lines across here, and I do want to make this a little bit darker. And I did have kind of a blossom going on. I'm going to leave it. I think it looks okay. So moving on to this one now. And I'll I'll go ahead and do this when we add that shadow. Just adding, again, a little bit of the burnt sienna over the top of this. Don't want it too dark, but I do want a little bit of contrast there. And let's go ahead and do this one back here too. This is going to be more of a hard edge, and so I'm going to draw the line right here. I'm going to draw it across both of these wooden planks on this table. I want that to be a little bit of a hard edge. This one can be a little softer as it's more in the distance. So let's get this one in here. And I think behind this watering can, the shadow should even be darker. So we'll do a little value change here. So I went in with a Van Dyke Brown here over the red brown and Van Dyke Brown mix. Again, I'm at a kind of an awkward angle here. So let's pull this shadow up a little bit right there. And it will fade as we go back here. And it's just a matter of adding some detail until it looks right. It will look right. You'll find out when it looks right. You'll know. And I'm going to darken this edge as well. I want to keep this one light right here for a little contrast. And this one, I'll soften that edge a little bit. Come down here and go ahead and paint the ends of this. And again, that detail that we put in there, that we scratched in with the glass pen or whatever you wanted to use, is coming to light again. Okay, so I think we're kind of well on our way here. I just want to hit the back of this with a little darker value change. This might be a little bit too much. Let me lift that a little bit. And when we get the dark lines in here, then it will all start to come to life a little better. So we have, I think, a good start on our tabletop, and I don't think there's much else to do right now. Again, if you want to put some more detail in, if you've got this wet, you can still do that. But I think by and large we're in good shape here. Just add a little bit here, maybe some up here. Don't go at this with a lot of pressure, because it will end up kind of digging up through your paper and everything. I don't see any reason to put any in here. You could do it if you want to, but I think that one is okay. That's quite dark. That's going to be painted in with Van Dyke. This is really a dark edge. This whole side of the table is in shadow. So we'll get this in, and that will be done as well. I'm just trying to stay away from what I just painted here so it doesn't run in. And if you want to add a little texture to these ends with some darker paint, you can do that too. It's all fairly casual at this point. Okay, so I think for now we're in really good shape. I might just add just an offshoot here, just to kind of blend this shadow over a little bit. I know we're never done when it comes to painting. The less is more is our philosophy, but in practice it doesn't always work. So I think that's good for now. Let's let this dry and we'll come back, and I want to talk about how to do the chair at this point. That's where the white gouache comes in. I actually mixed that white gouache up with a blue, and I started out with a baby blue wash. This was actually the wash I used first. I put over that, I put a little Viridian, a little sap green, and just kind of dropped it in while this was wet. When you put gouache down first and then drop your transparent paints in, it makes a very, very interesting effect. So that's what we're going to do with the chair in class. The sides here are going to be painted with the transparents, and we'll just put those in. It'll be 4 colors, could be 3, and it won't be this dark. We're going to wet this first and then put those in. This is a little bit too dark in this version that we're doing. It wasn't in my initial one, but it is in this one. And when this is dry, I think I'll come back and do a little demo on how we're going to get this pot kind of looking like metal, and it's still also reflecting underneath this metal onto this table. So this color is going to come up underneath there as it reflects off of the table up onto the metal. So that will have a little hint of this table color in it, along with a little reflection that goes in right there. Okay, so for now we're good until this dries.